Going live. All right, got my cards. Hey, everybody. Welcome. Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with Astrology Mojo and transformational astrology. Want to help you get your mojo back. Well, Dean has joined us. That's great. Today we're going to be talking about a proven 5-point formula that's going to help you to heal or transform or change something that you've been having a little difficulty dealing with. So how's everyone doing today? I hope you're doing great. This is a really fantastic period in time to take hold of what you believe, what you perceive, what you want to create, and then make that thing happen in the world. And why is that? Well, that's true for any moment in time, because every moment is your opportunity to start over. Every single moment is your opportunity to start over. But what happens sometimes is when we want to start over, we get held back by the past or by a perception that stops us from moving forward. And I'm going to be talking about Mercury in retrograde. If you're not familiar with Mercury, the planet that represents communication and your perceptions, what's going on in your brain, and how you experience something. It is the distinction of your sensations and your experiences that makes your perception. So when anything happens in astrology, first what I tell people is that the planets don't do anything to you, that we live in a cooperation with the cosmos, so that when the planets make a move, you can experience that energy. When the planets make a move, you feel it. When you make a move, the planets reflect that in the heavens. So it is a cooperation between you and every energy around you. So you're not a puppet and you're not being told what to do. So when people say things like, oh, Mercury's retrograde, I have to hide under the bed, I can't send letters. Well, you can. Just use spell check 3 times or 4 if that helps. Hey, Laura's here too. Hey, Laura. So Mercury in retrograde, we're in the pre-phase now. We are also coupled with the Venus in retrograde. And, this stands true for any period in time. It's not just this period of time. That Venus represents your finances, your relationship to women, your ability to allow flow to happen. And then we look at Mercury and what that represents. And Mercury is all about communication and, as I said, your perceptions. Now, here's an old precept that dates back thousands of years, and that is form follows thought. So what does that mean? Last time I talked about those cool words from long, long ago, as in Mazel Tov, meaning from the Akkadian culture, which was absorbed by the Babylonians and the Sumerians, but their words, Mazel Tov, meant, may you have correct positioning of the stars. And so when I look at word origins, a lot of times I look at what gets bastardized or what gets overused or the meaning gets diminished. So when I say form follows thought, what I'm saying sincerely and truly is that whatever you're thinking is going to couple with an emotion, and that anchors into the neurons. And then you start to create matter in your world. Yes, you are that powerful. And I found my wand. The other day I couldn't find it, and I found it. Here it is, and I'm going to use it. So watch it. So when form follows thought, you have to ask yourself, what's happening? What's really happening in your life? And what am I the cause of that? You want to look at reflection during any retrograde period, but also you don't need a planet to be going retrograde for you to reflect on what are the mirrors in your life. And then to ask yourself, well, if I've got this going on in my life and then it's a one-time thing, okay, that's cool. Hi, Talitha. If I have many things going on in my life, and who just has one thing? Even monks, meditating on a mountain, they don't just have one thing going on. So if you've got the repetitive things coming back your way over and over and over and over and over and over, aren't we sick of that? And the things that we don't want to be happening. that's where we really have to take an assessment and say what's happening. And that's the purpose of a retrograde planet, is to represent for you the times that you need to step back and literally take a look at everything that's in your world, because your entire world is a reflection of your perceptions. And everything that you think, that you compound and combine with an emotion, anchors into a neuron. Those neurons begin to grow. Those neurons create tentacles and electrical impulses and create baby neurons, and you keep going until you have, essentially, you've built up matter in your world. Now, does it really matter to you what the matter is? And so when people say to me, oh, what's the matter? I'll say, the matter is everything I've created. What's the matter with you? It's turned out to become this negative thing, like, oh, what's the matter? The matter is everything. It's everything. It's overwhelming sometimes. So when we look at Mercury in retrograde, we want to adhere to a formula that has been proven by every person I've ever worked with. Any of my clients, I've given this formula to them. It's part of my Bodhi system, intuitive mastery. And just doing these things. Well, first of all, let me show you. This is what Mercury in retrograde looks like. The RX represents the retrograde, and we are in the pre-phase now. Mercury retrograde begins November 16th and all the way through December 6th. And during that time frame, when Mercury is retrograde, we will have more of a tendency to move inward and to look back and to say, what do I want to do with whatever's coming up again? This, what comes back in a retrograde usually is back for either review. You want to review what comes back in a Mercury in retrograde. You want to renegotiate with it, or release it, renew it, and be done. Then you move on. And so when issues come back over and over again, it's there to show you that you have some unfinished business. Now, some people would say that's a Neptune phrase, unfinished business. And it is. I think everything in life, whatever karma comes your way, and karma is not good or bad, it's just a harmonizing of whatever's going on and your energy, it comes back to show you what you believe. And so it's time for reflection. When Venus is retrograde, it's time to reflect on your feminine relationships, how you allow the flow of energy and money and your finances and your relationship to not just women, but to yourself, and what you allow. When Mercury comes around in a retrograde, which it's coming up on soon, and it doesn't matter, again, this information applies across the board all the time, not just during the retrogrades. But when something comes back into your life, regardless if a planet is retrograde, when something comes back into your life, it's asking you, are you done with me yet? Or is there more? Is there more healing to be had? And that's where I like to go. Now, I've got the blue book now button, which if you're on a computer, it's that way. And if you're scrolling on a tablet, it's that way. And I'm giving Mercury in retrograde readings at 25% off. Now, they're 30 minutes long. Listen to this. And it just came to my attention recently that I was unclear when describing my readings, and that the readings are not just for the period of the retrograde. They will give you insights when I work with a person, and if the person is willing to do the work, the insights that come are what's coming back your way from your lifetime repetitive habits. What's coming back? How can we now shift gears and move in a different direction? And that's what I look at during the retrograde. So it's not just for the retrograde period that the reading applies. It's for the entire year and then some, because I don't just segregate, one planet, one issue. I look across the board. What are all the things that are sabotaging you? What parts of you are stopping you from moving forward with wealth, health, passion, and purpose? So you want to take advantage of these retrograde sessions. And again, you can get it now and you can book later. Because what I look at is, where does the planet go retrograde in your world? And it's always going to come back around. We go through, as in Venus, the 5-point cycle. Venus will make a star in your life, and it will repeat the same issues over and over and over again. Same thing with Mercury. Same thing with all the planets, again, because they represent what is happening in you, what you're manifesting. So you really want to take advantage of this, because these prices that I offer on Facebook and with specials and reward savings, they're not going to last. So you want to jump on those. Okay, so getting back to Mercury and the reflection in your life of what's happening, where it's going, you want to look at recurring thoughts, okay? What's recurring in your life? Oh, I can't believe, every time I talk to this person, this is the issue that comes up. Or every time I go to work and I deal with that person, this is the feeling I have. So whenever there's a recurring issue, you want to actually look at what's the reflection. What are they speaking to you about? It's not, let's move away from it's them and they did this and they did that and my life would be better without them. Okay, then take them away. What's the behavior? The behavior triggers you. What's your response or reaction? It's going to be the same throughout your life unless you make a change. That's the whole deal. Perceptions are what you believe to be true. And if that truth limits your life and it narrows down your focus to, I can only do these things, I can only get so far because, and you fill in the blank, because I don't have enough money, or I don't have the brain smarts, or that's just the way it is, and I've got to do all the work and nobody else can help me, or, then you limit your experience and you really put yourself in a position of, I would call it not just self-sabotage, but torture. I mean, come on. You want to lighten up a little bit and start to detach a little bit more from what's happening as you step back. That's what the retrogrades are all about. You step back and you say, okay, what part of my psyche, remember, form follows thought. So you're thinking something over and over again, and it's creating a particular situation in your life. And you might think, no, is that really? Yeah, you're that powerful. Everything in your life is there because of you. And I've said this before, and I will continue to say it, because until you realize what those things are, you can't change them, and you can't transform, and you cannot heal. So let's get right to the 5-point proven system that I have worked on with my clients over the years that's really helped them. And it's so simple. And here they are, the 5 elements of healing. Number 1, you need to have awareness. What's the problem? What's the issue? What's the repetitive complaint? Not about them so much, but although if you want to look at them so that you could bring it back to you and say, well, every time they do this what happens to me, or this is how I feel, then take them out of it and say, well, this is how I feel a lot, or every so often. I don't feel smart enough. I don't feel like I know enough. I don't feel like I'm good enough, or I feel like I give too much and I don't get back. So whatever the issues are, what's the awareness? Look at what's really happening in your life on a repetitive scale. And, let's bring it back to, all right, I'm aware that I live in a place that fill in the blank. I am aware that every time I have conversations with my brother, with my sister, with my father, with my best friend, with my coworkers, this is how I feel. So you have to become aware of something before you can do anything about it. All right, that makes sense. All right, number 2, and these go in order. So you got to go from the top down. All right. So once you have the awareness, and it's like the Baptist, it's like, yeah, praise. Once you have awareness, then the second thing is you need the willingness to actually give yourself permission to say, all right, I am aware of the issue and I'm ready to do something about it. Give yourself permission to then do something different. Because if you do the same thing over and over again, there's no sense in having this conversation anymore. We're done. I cannot help you. Because you won't help you. So I want you to get your mojo back. That's the whole thing about transformational astrology. And as people look at a chart, and I'll just throw something up here. People will look at a chart and they will say, oh, I have all these things going on in my chart, and that's why I am who I am. And I'll say, oh, no. You are who you are because of who you are and the choices that you make or don't make, or the decisions that you face or don't face. And then I get to look at it in a blueprint by way of glyphs. It's like reading a musical sheet, and I can sing your song. Forget your troubles, come on, get happy. We want to go there, right? We want to get you happy. So when you start to do something different, the definitions in astrology will change for you. It's magical. So the planets are not fixed in definition, because as you change and evolve, so do they. And I don't hear too many other astrologers talking about that. And maybe there are. And, great. Or as our daughter used to say, Gucci. But become aware of this, that you're the one who has the power. Okay, so one, awareness that something needs to change and what that thing is. Second, giving yourself permission, the willingness to do something different. And then third, it does take commitment. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road, folks. This is where you say, yeah, I know that's going to, I got, I wanted to watch, CSI, or I got some laundry. I don't, So if you don't have the commitment, that's okay. That's not a judgment. But know that nothing will change unless you commit to making that change, to healing that thing. Wealth, health, passion, purpose. These are the things that people really want to be committed to doing something about with their lives, so that they can become happy and see what they can contribute to the world, because that is the whole point. Now, once you have that commitment, that's where people like me step in. Counselors, therapists, energy workers, psychologists, business coaches, mentors. This is where we group as professionals and look at you and say, I see what you need. I want to help you make that change. Are you committed? And once you say yes, let's go. Let's fly. Now, there may be days or times or weeks when you're soaring and you're applying new techniques, and your perception is changing, therefore your emotions have altered, therefore your neurons are different, therefore you are attracting different opportunities, and then suddenly you hit a brick wall. And then it feels like I had a text from a friend the other day, and she said, I'm sorry, I didn't get back to you, but I had an emotional breakdown. And I said, it's no worries. She said, I can't believe that you think you've dealt with an issue, and then years later it comes back. And I said, yes, same thing happened to me yesterday. Just in the minute of, I was having a crank day and not understanding why, and then applying all that I knew. And I thought, I'm forcing the issue. I'm pushing myself to heal. I got to just let it be. I got to just be here and do what I need to do, and shop online for shoes that I will never buy. And I just put them in the cart and I go, oh, those are cute. Yeah, I like those. Okay, yeah, I like those. And I just put them, and then I click out of the page. And then it finally hit me that there was something happening emotion-wise in my body. And I thought, well, it's stuck. It's like in a bubble and it can't get out. Maybe I can help it. So I do some of my techniques, my EFT tapping. I do some journaling. I do some bitch and moan with my husband. My husband was right there. Can I help you? Is there anything? And I'm like, no, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it'll come up soon enough. And sure enough, a few hours later, I just got to this point of having a conversation with my husband. We were talking about somebody else, and it triggered something for me, and that was the door I needed. And I just started to cry, and then I was like, oh, okay, phew. And then I went into my office and did my own thing, and the next thing I know, here comes the big bubble. Here comes the eruption, the big perception that has been taking me down the same brick wall dead end for 58 years. And then I thought I dealt with it. And I did. And you chip away and you chip away and you get to the next layer and the next layer, and you go deeper, but it happens so much quicker. Instead of taking years in counseling or therapy, it took all of 3 hours to get to the point. And just at the moment, now this is the pinnacle. This is the great part. Just at the moment, I get a text from my friend saying, I'm sorry I didn't get back to you. Can we find a time to talk next week? And I say, sure. I'm texting. And then I put that one aside. I get another text. At the moment, I feel like this welling need to just sob and cry and let loose. And I get a text from another friend who says, hey, how's it going? And she's very busy. So I never like to text her during the day because I know she's working. High-powered professional. And so I said, it's been up and down. And she said, I'll call you right now. And I said, no, I'm texting. No, it's okay. It's fine, blah, blah, blah. And she said, are you saying no because you think I'm busy? Or are you saying no because you don't need this call? And I thought, here I am. This is the core. Me rejecting help. I found it. Where's my magic wand? Ta-da! Correcto Patronum. She hit the button. I said, yes, call me. And she called me. As soon as I heard her voice, I just burst out into tears. And it was the greatest conversation about whatever. But the fact that I finally said yes, and I said, oh my gosh, I just said no to something I needed. And that's the Venus retrograde in action, showing me my stubbornness to saying no, to not allowing someone to help me. It's like, why would I not allow someone to help me when I'm the one to stand up and profess, get the help that you need? And then there it was a tiny little dot of my stubbornness. And I thought, wow. So I got over myself. Yay. And I want you to do the same. So once you have awareness of what the issue is, then you give yourself permission to actually do something different, like I did yesterday with the text and the phone call. And then you make a commitment to act as if. Act as if you are the thing you want to become. Act as if. It doesn't mean pretend you have $1 million, when you don't, and you're buying things you don't need. That's not what I'm saying. It's not, don't go there. What I'm saying is look at your commitment and saying, all right, I would like to fill in the blank. I want to get that new job. I want to have a better, healthier relationship with my spouse. I want to make more money at work, or I want to write a book, or, whatever it is you want. I want to get in shape. Whatever it is that you want to do, act as if it's already happening. And that puts you in the flow, in the stream, like, hey dude, like in Nemo, when the turtles are swimming in the current. You got to relax, dude. Act as if and go with the flow. And then you add the steps and the necessary elements that you need to put into being practical about that thing, that strategy. You want to make more money? What are the 5 things that can help you get there? The 3 things that you need to do right now. What are the things you can put aside so that you can actually move forward? So, hi, Sasha says, I like that. Got to use that one. Great. And then next comes honesty, because if you get to that brick wall in that place where you say, I don't know, I'm just going to make this a little smaller. And once you get to that place where you say, I've really progressed. I've gotten far and I'm good. I'm good. I can float for a while. I can coast. I can skate. And then suddenly, deep down, you could go a little further, that you've stopped, that we are, as sentient beings and energetic beings, there is no stopping. We are constantly morphing and changing and emoting and thinking and feeling, and there's constant energy moving. That's emotion, is energy in motion. So when you get to that place, you have to be really aware of your own behavior and own it. You just got to own the truth. There are people out there in the news, on television, not owning it. And it's disheartening to see liars everywhere. When there are really courageous, compassionate people also on the news and in television, and celebrities, talking about becoming clearer, talking about owning it. You got to own your truth, folks, because if you don't, you'll hit a ceiling with your transformation. And it doesn't matter if you want to be the next guru of whatever industry, or you just want to feel better and to get through the day. It doesn't matter what the issue is. Once you own it, you're aware of the issue, you're willing to do something different, you're committed, and you act as you do steps and, implement strategies that are proven that will help you. And then you're honest about your progress. And some days you just got to be okay with, I need to lie down today. Yeah, stuff has to get done, but I'm tired. You need to take a nap. And that's okay. Like, that's no judgment. So when I come back to talking about Mercury, which I will throughout the coming weeks, because remember, the planet doesn't do it to you, but you're remembering how to be that divine energy that you are, because you are pure conscious love. That's what you are. And if you think you're anything less, you're shortchanging yourself, and you're not being honest with yourself. Look at you. You're a miracle. How does your body function? Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. The things that come to the science is amazing. Medicine is amazing. Ancient healing techniques are amazing, because they got a grip on that we are miracles, and we have to act as if we can do more. We can be better. We can make that contribution that we don't think we can, because we're stopped by these thoughts that cut us short. That's enough, right? That's enough of that. Okay, now once you're honest, And you got to be patient. Things take time. It's like we become toddlers in the transformational industry. It's like we know it can happen because we've been out of this physical form. We know what's possible somewhere in our psyche, in our imprint, in our DNA. We say we have the power to make a change. And I'm going to use my magic wand that are my thoughts, my emotions, my techniques, my ability to be compassionate, to use my pure conscious love and to put that contribution into the world and then allow it to come back my way. But we have all these little idiosyncrasies. We have memories from the past, and we don't want to get stuck in years in therapy mom never gave me ice cream and I'm devastated. It's like, okay, we all have trauma, but it's time to move beyond the trauma. So when things come up like you're angry, it's okay to feel the feeling. It's not okay to come out sideways at somebody else who doesn't deserve your dumpage, right? You don't want to be hurling crap at people. We are doing our best to be as compassionate as possible, become aware as possible, be as willing as possible, to be as honest as possible, and then just be patient. Be committed, be patient, and things will start to change and turn a corner. It didn't take you one snap of a second to get to where you are. It took years of experience, of falling down, of trauma, of feeling invalidated, standing back up and going forward, acting as if. It's just a cycle. So you want to be patient. So again, to really help you get to that place, this is a 5-point proven formula that works with all of my clients. And that is the 5 elements. Hi, Jesse. The 5 elements of healing. Awareness that something needs to change, willingness to give yourself permission to allow yourself to do something different, commitment to act as if with a new strategy and new steps to get you there, and then honesty about when you need to take a break, honest about your own behavior and not to judge yourself too harshly, and to realize that it comes in waves. Healing comes in waves. I'll go this way because then this way it looks like I'm attacking the camera. And then patient. You just got to be present with it all as much as possible. Take a break. This is why we have illusion on this planet. We have distractions. We have video games. We've got movies. People will opt for wine or CBD edibles. If you're in pain, it's all good. But to stay addicted to something, to not face what you're going through, is really not healthy. And you're not going to get anywhere. But to keep going, let me give you this promise of a sign that I saw and had to take a picture of it in my town here in Sedona. When's it going to happen? Well, I would say very, very soon. Very, very soon. It's going to happen when you allow it. It's going to happen over time. It's going to happen when you think you're ready to get through it. And it's also going to happen when you make the commitment to make that healing distinction. Again, your perceptions in a Venus retrograde are dealing with certain topics and issues about women. A woman helped me to see where I was stubborn with allowing support. I was disallowing support and I didn't even realize it. Me, I do this work all the time. I live and breathe this work 24/7. And there was just this one moment where I was like feeling something uncomfortable and I don't know what it is. And I feel cranky but my life is blessed and I'm so grateful. And it's like, why do I feel like this? And then of course it came out. My friend offered to call me and see how I was doing. And I said, no, it's fine. I got this. And I was like, no, deep down, I didn't have this. And so she helped me with that. And then just by being there, and divine timing will come, right? It's like, how perfect was it that I got that text in that moment when I said, yeah, I got this, but I could feel myself pushing things down. And then I was given a door by the universe to just open and let it out. And then just, okay. Now I'm back to, I released the pressure of those held emotions called a depression, just like the weather. And now I'm ready to move on. So I want you to be able to do the same thing. Look for the Book Now blue button on my on the website. Sorry, I keep saying website, on the Facebook page. And if you're on a different gadget, you might have to scroll and look down. And it's 25% off of my normal reading for 30 minutes. And it's not just for the time of the Mercury in retrograde. It's going to show me where you sabotage yourself in that area of life. So it's not just good for the year, as it says in the copy on the buy page. It is good for you to be looking at this so that it goes beyond the year. It goes into that place of where are you ready to change your perception? Because my readings are never that small. And honestly, folks, some people are not ready, and I get that. Or they think, okay, oh, it's fun, it's curious. Don't come to me if you're just curious. I want you to come because you're committed and you're ready to make that change and be a contributing, compassionate, sentient being on this earth in your arena, in your world. Again, it doesn't have to mean you get on stage and you write books and become a bestseller. Although if you want to, great, let's go there. But it's what's sabotaging you now. What are your perceptions that are sabotaging you? And if you're having a hard time seeing what that is, then it's so easy. All you have to do is look at the reflection. What's in your life? What is surrounding you? What keeps coming back your way? Do you have people who come into your life who don't support you or who don't treat you the way you need and deserve to be treated? Are there people in your life who are trying to give to you and you push them aside? Are you giving way too much and not allowing to get back? What is your perception regarding finances? Do you think you're not worth it, so you don't charge enough? Or you work really hard and think, if I just had enough to make the bills, I'd be happy. Why stop there? I had a client once who used to say that all the time. She was a single mom. She goes, if I just had enough to meet my, then I'm so happy. And it's like, don't you deserve to have more than just enough to get by? Of course you do. So what's the thinking that creates that perception that you don't deserve it, that you have done something wrong, that it's the best that life has to offer? If you really have those beliefs, you're going to be stuck for a while and it's not going to feel good. So I want you to consider these things, ponder this, and I want you to come back tomorrow. I have something a little special planned for everyone. I'll see you tomorrow at 4. Thanks for being here. And hey, hi Casey. And thanks for being here. And we'll be back tomorrow at 4 Pacific. Okay, folks, remember, it's all up to you. Be sparkly, be present, be the best you can be, and thank you for being. All right, be well. Thank you.